Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to my channel. I'm Mike. If this is your first time, I appreciate you joining. Maybe think about subscribing, liking, all that good stuff. Join the Normal Mike community. So, I like to do streams that focus on the fundamentals of art. What's up, Peter? And I also have started to sprinkle in some character design streams, which is what we're going to be working on today. What's going on, Coop? And Coop, I agree with your last Discord post. The animation is very, very wild in that movie. And it's, yes, something that you wouldn't expect from a racing movie. But back to the stream. Yeah, so for today we are going to start the process of creating this character. We've gone through, I think it's been a couple of weeks or a few weeks at this point, and kind of like, you know, chosen some different stuff. Before we get into this, I am just going to do a few, probably like 5 gestures just to get, because I haven't drawn yet today, just to get my arm going. But yeah, that'll only be about 10 minutes, and then we'll probably spend an hour to 2 hours on the actual design itself. You'll be able to see the references that I'm using in the upper right hand corner of your screen, if you want to follow along. And yeah, if you want to join our Discord, the link is in my description. Also, what's up, Spash? Also, let me not have the same song playing the entire time. Perfect. Alright, yeah, let's get started on some warm-ups. I'm just gonna do this warm-up on the same sheet that I was using yesterday. Just because, why not? It's not like I'm wasting paper, but weirdly sometimes feels like I am. Warm up. Yep, so it'll be 10 minutes. I do 5 2-minute warm-up drawings, and then we'll go from there. Alright. I hope everybody is doing well. And as always, I hope that your drawing has been going well. And also, what I actually meant to say before I got distracted is, if you have questions, concerns, thoughts, ideas, any of that stuff as we move forward in the character design or as I'm doing these gestures, please feel free to ask. Like, that's why I like doing live streams instead of traditional videos for the most part, is I get to interact with all of you. And that makes my day. I was talking about this in yesterday's stream, but soon I'm gonna start not using these exact shapes anymore and start to progress towards doing more anatomically correct shapes, which I know is going to be a very, very difficult task for me. So there's going to be a dip in the quality of my gestures as I'm getting used to that. But what it'll end up doing is it'll end up making it so that my gestures are almost a finished product, and that's really what I want. Oh, that's a great question. What's your favorite shape? I like that. Man, it's wild. Like, there's 50 images in this folder, and I think since I've switched back over to doing more like traditional like standing poses, I have drawn this one almost every single stream. Like, I don't know what the odds of that are, but rectangle is your favorite shape? We are definitely drawn together by destiny. I do like this pose. I think it's like, it's a pretty beautiful looking pose, but it's just very odd. I think that's good enough. So let's see. Did I have it yesterday? I might not have had it yesterday, actually. I didn't. But so we got rectangle, triangle. Triangle is a fun shape. Circle. We do, basically all the basic shapes. I think if I had to pick a favorite shape, yeah, I would agree. I actually do like triangles. If I had to pick a favorite, I would say triangle. I think my second favorite would probably be a circle. Triangles just have a lot of like directionality to them that I like. That's true. Stickmen do require a circle. I think the most used shape that I draw is probably a circle. Or this, like, to be honest with you, the most used shape is definitely this, like, slightly altered cylinder that you see me drawing for limbs. It's kind of like, sorry, give me 1 second, I want to make that a bit smaller. It's kind of like this shape. I don't know if I've ever drawn this particular pose. Yep, they are easy to work with. Also, oddly, the hardest to draw well. I think, like circles. You can sit here and, like, as many circles as I've drawn, like, I'm still not, like, I wouldn't say I'm great at drawing them. which is just crazy to think about. The limbs are like triangles with rounded edges. Yep, I would say that. Or like I said, like tapered cylinders is another good way to think about it. I can kind of give you a demonstration of why I say like a tapered cylinder in just a second. Head's a little small and the neck's a little long, so I'm going to do that. And then fit this in. There we go. So yeah, I like to say a tapered cylinder because, like, if you were to, like, going off of the conversation that we were having in our Discord, like, if I'm going to trace, and I'll just bring in really fast. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm just gonna find a quick reference to bring in here. Let's do this one. It's like one of my favorite poses. Alright, so if we're gonna look at this pose and like draw over the top of it, right? I'll do red so it's easier to see. So a cylinder, like, if I was just teaching this to somebody, I would do like a circle and then just a straight cylinder like this, another circle, and then another cylinder like this, and then the hand, which is kind of like this like wedgie shape. But what that does is it creates like a somewhat stilted shape. So if I was to like take this out, pull it out over here, like, I think that these two work well. But what I would do if I were trying to learn how to draw that arm, or just an arm in general, is I would use like slightly slightly, what was the word I was just using? Like tapered cylinder. So you would start off with something like this for the deltoid, and this is like, these are the shapes that you see me here. I'm going to draw through just so you can see the whole thing, but these are the shapes that you see me using as I do my own gestures. But I would draw something, it's kind of like this. So there's obvious slightly larger end and then a slightly shorter end, and it's going in this direction. Then a circle, and also, like, as you can see, have these curves here, and then I would do it again for the forearm. And in this case, like, typically what I say is like, you want to have opposing curves, so it should be something like this and then like this, which you can make work for this arm, but it's not quite accurate. So it's really going to be another tilted cylinder that's this way, and I can show you how you can kind of make opposing curves theory work. That's a little bit too tilted, but something like that. The way that I would make the opposing curves theory work here is this would be the bone, and then I would have the other muscle on the other side coming through here like this, so then you would kind of erase away that flat line. But this is a much more dynamic shape over here than this is, and it's also going to be, I mean, granted, it's not going to be perfect when I line these up, and that's okay, but yeah, I knew I did that, but here, let me just correct this really fast so you can see it better. Just made that way too long. I knew I did when I was doing it. But yeah, you can see that this is going to fit a little bit better on top of what we have. Again, like, the angles are not quite accurate, and actually probably needs to be shrunk down a little bit. But if I just take this and tilt it this way a little bit, you can see it fits a bit better, and it looks more arm-like. So yeah, that's what I mean by a tapered cylinder. You want to take it and start to deform it. So, like, the first step, how do you draw just a cylinder, right? And then the second step is, now how do I make it have some direction to it? To make it look more dynamic. Alright. Hopefully that made sense and was helpful. And this is going to be for all of the limbs, right? Because, like, even this is a tapered cylinder. You can see it. And it kind of goes like this, right? And this is like about as tapered as it gets. And then you can repeat that shape over here on the side. Just to get the muscle memory in here for, okay, like, this is a thigh. And I would say, if I were to pick where this is opened up at, I would say this is coming slightly towards us. So, like, the bottom would be slightly open. My reasoning for that is because this, to me, because of the overlaps, is in front of this shape. So this shape's bottom is going to be facing away from us, and the top is going to be facing towards us. Alright, cool. So let's move on to our wizard design, unless people have questions about that. The day you draw a perfect circle is the day you retire. I don't know about that, but Yeah, I would say like again, I think that Crimson's spot on. Like you want to do tracing when you're first learning how to draw bodies and things of that nature. Um, and I would just start with regular cylinders, right? The cylinder will be great. You can use cubes or rectangular prisms for um, like the different body, the different major forms of the body to start off with. Something like that. And then this is going to be way opened up. Right, and then you can attach here. And then if you want to do like a circle, I don't typically do a circle right here. I just kind of leave it blank. And then I would just do a regular cylinder. The main thing when you're doing the cylinders, or if you even want to do, like, I do agree, like, I don't think limbs, it's too great to do cubes for, or rectangular prisms for limbs, but you could, right, you could just say, okay, so this is how this one is going to be oriented here. Then I'll do a circle for the knee, and then again, this is actually going kind of towards us here. But the main reason for doing the cylinders with the open ends is to make sure you're getting the right orientation when it comes to the to where the limb is going, how it's foreshortened. Like this for y'all right now is pretty straight on, so you might not see like the top or the bottom of either side, right? But as soon as I do this towards the camera, and you can even see my sleeve is a good indicator of where that cylinder is. Now you know that that cylinder is coming towards you. And then this. Well, I mean, what he said, again, like, what Crimson was saying is great. I just disagree. Like, you can't dismiss, like, other forms of learning things just blanket, because when you do that, then you're missing out on what that thing had to offer, right? Like, if you're saying cubes can't be used for, you know, body parts at all, and the only real way to learn is to trace the things that you're trying to learn, I just don't agree with that. Like, I think both of them, like, you can't do one and not the other, and both of them have their place. But like the real weakness to just tracing things is that if you trace it, that's great, and you've done a great job tracing, but now how do you draw that same thing at a different angle? And you need to do it with the same amount of detail. Well, you would have to find another reference at that angle to trace, and you're not learning, you're not putting it together as well as you would want, which is why the construction, like deconstructing something into 3D forms and shapes, is so important. And then you add on to those shapes, right? Like, you can add on to this cylinder by saying, okay, I can see here that, and I can see here that there are, I'll just do another. There are like, there's this main cylinder here. And I won't taper it. I'll just do regular cylinders. So there's this main cylinder here. Great. What else am I seeing? Oh, there's two muscles, right? So I'm just going to put in a circle for the knee. There's two muscles that come down. Oh, okay. So now I can do two more cylinders. And I will taper these a little bit, because now we're getting into the finer anatomy. Okay. Alright, and then what about this over here? Okay, well, maybe I can just try to taper my circle, or is this also a muscle? Probably, right? So like all those things, you learn to build instead of just like tracing. I don't know. Tracing's great for learning what you don't understand. Like, for instance, I know that this like contour line is going to be something like that, right? Because there's a muscle here. Right here, there's not going to be too much of a muscle, and then the muscle here, and muscle there, and now that third muscle is starting to come in. So now I know, okay, so now there's a muscle here, and a muscle here. But that doesn't do you any good when you're trying to shift things. Anyways, let's go to the character design. Alright, so this is going to be a bit of a challenge because I do want to make this like armor-like, and I would not say I'm like great at armor quite yet. So that'll be a challenge for me. But yeah, let's go right into it. Oh yeah, definitely. Send them over. Alright, so the first thing I want to do before I get into any of this is I want to put in all of the anatomy, or not all of it, but a good portion of the anatomy for this character. So I already have this arm over here in a pretty good position. So I'm not going to worry about that. I don't like where that's placed. Alright, so the pec muscle is going to come in and up. Up. And this is going to go this way. Alright, and then do I need much else here? I do want to make these hips a bit wider. Good try, Coop. I hope you don't. Alright, one thing I'm noticing is this forearm is much too long. So I'm gonna change that. See, and the good thing too about like using tapered shapes like I have been is that like the majority of the anatomy over here is pretty much done. Like the only thing I need to do is just add this, maybe a little bit on this far side. Bicep is going to go directly into the whatchamacallit over there. Sorry, I just pulled my little model out just to help me with my anatomy. I highly recommend like you get one of these. But yeah, the bicep flows right into the forearm muscles, and then the forearm muscles actually have like a starting point that's a little higher, and we can just add some like ovular shapes. This side is actually lower. This side is going to be higher. We both go about 3/4 of the way down. Alright, and then we'll work on the hand later. Alright, so we have a majority of this in. I do think that there could be a bit of an issue with the distance here, so I'm going to move this arm out just a bit. And the reason why I say that is because as I'm looking, this collarbone here is longer than this one over here, but it's longer, it was longer by too much, right? Like it is foreshortened, but not that much. So that gives me a little bit more space for the anatomy here. And I got that because of the where the bicep ended up kind of going. And I would say the bicep is also, is it too long? I guess not. Yeah, I guess it's fine. Alright. So she's holding her staff in this arm, and it is, yeah, I think this is probably about the right angle, but I'm trying to think of how her hand is going to be turned. So her hand is going to be like this part where her thumb rests is going to be facing us. So that means that this backbone here is going to be down here, which would mean that this muscle is going to have just the slightest of turns and be over top of the other one. So it's going to be like this. Alright. And then in this view here, with the hand kind of pulled out towards us, I think that these muscles are fine, actually. I don't think I really need to do too much else here. Yeah, Chris is fine. My niece's daughter, she's doing a lot of, like, tournaments and stuff. She's super athletic, so she's in softball and in volleyball. So a lot of the times, Chris can't really make the streams because he's out and about doing stuff with her. Alright. Now I'm just going to check. Okay, I think the head is a pretty good size. I do like to have the head be slightly too big just because of, I don't know, just being able to see the face. I might shrink it down a bit. Maybe just slightly. Just because the head and the face are the focal point. Yeah, I think Chris is a good pops. And we'll get just a... I'm gonna end up redoing this whole head anyways, just because that's kind of the way I roll. But we'll get a little bit of there, and then so we have the ribs, and then we'll have a little bit of this muscle, I think, coming off, and then yeah, this is going to like that. Enio-san, I'm doing well. How are you? Thanks for joining. And I do think that this is a bit... Alright, Peter. I appreciate you hopping on for a little bit. I hope you have a nice day as well. So this is gonna go here, here, and then here. The one thing I'm seeing is I think that I had the hips a bit too tilted. It's probably gonna actually be more like this. Wow, like, it's crazy. It changes like the whole look of the pose, just that one line. And also, I do think, yeah, I was gonna say, I do think I could give a little bit more space between here and there it goes. Be less like crunched up. Alright. And I will say this, I think I need to make the hips a bit wider still, but because it looks a little manly right now. My characters do have like longer legs. Like that's not something that is an accurate proportion in real life, but it is something that I like to do. So I might need to find a reference for hips in this particular angle, just to get it right, but I do want there to be this kind of like thickness to it, just to make the hourglass shape here. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find a reference for that. Hips are definitely my weakest point in anatomy right now, but we'll go over that in a bit. I haven't seen that, or like, yeah, I haven't seen that before. Alright. So, I can make it at least a little bit rounded. Just getting my overlaps in. Knee. This one is a little bit thicker than I wanted it to be, so we'll trim it down a bit. Alright. And we can put in just a hint of the leg muscle. This is all going to get covered up in just a little bit as we do some of the armor design, but we can still do just a bit of it. I have this muscle that carries across, maybe flattens this out a bit. Sartorius, however it's said, I can't remember. So you watched old classes? Yeah, I have not. I'll be honest with you, like my anime repertoire is really bad. Like I'm like basic. I need to like watch some actual like anime that is not mainstream. I'm just doing like a really, really rough hand for now. This is something that I'll end up just like working on a bit later. Probably in my, maybe not in my free time, because I want y'all to be a part of the process here, but just want to get like a rough estimate in there. Let's see here. Yeah, I've like also started quite a few and haven't finished. Like, I haven't finished My Hero Academia. or like caught up on it. I haven't finished the new Bash, like Trigun. I haven't finished Jujutsu Kaisen, if I can talk. I start a lot and I don't go through. I haven't even finished Naruto yet, but that's because it's just like frustrating because of how much filler there is. They need to like just redo it. The ending was good. Nice. It's nice to hear. Alright, so I'm gonna get a that might be too far out. Let's go in a bit. How many anime do I think I've watched? In totality, maybe like 8 to 10 total, like from start to finish. Alright. One thing I am gonna do, just because it just isn't sitting well with me right now, is I'm going to just push this in just a little bit here. I think we can go with that. Yeah, it feels better. Yeah, I want to watch the new Trigun just because I've heard good things about it, but I just like that it's hard for me to watch something like in a newer style animation when I'm so used to seeing it in the older style, and I also prefer the older style. And the animation for that is actually good. It all looks very nice. It's clean, but it just like for whatever reason is just not like resonating with me. Probably can thin her arms out a little too here. Alright, and then inside, come here. And the outside will start up here. And then we can concept art. Yep. We'll be getting there in just a second. I'm just finishing up the anatomy and stuff for this pose. Now the real question is, at this point, do I need to make the head bigger again? I think I do. Let's see. Yeah, I do. And also, welcome, Kevin. Perfect. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this pose. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to just put another layer on top and start to draw some of the things that we created prior. I'm gonna scale this down a bit. I'm gonna also just make I want to make my brush a bit bigger. That way I don't like get bogged down by trying to do like really nice like details right now. I just want to get this in a slightly more detailed fashion than I had it over here. So we have this here. It's going to come. I think I'm gonna do something like this. Studies of each part of the body? Yes, I do. So what I would recommend is like you start with I would start with just the anatomy of the head, but after you've gotten down at least some of that, then I'd just work your way downwards, and the reason for that is because head, face, all the way up to probably like mid-thigh is what you're going to draw the most, especially detailed anatomy, and then the legs and stuff are very important, of course. Specifically feet, I would say, are probably the most important, but you're not going to see them as frequently. But yeah, do the head, then do torso, so, you know, chest muscles, the deltoids, just a shoulder muscle, the sternocleidomastoids, I can't remember, like, just these ones. Or no, sorry, sternocleidomastoid is these muscles right here. The trapezius muscles, the back muscles, things like that. And then you would go into like arm muscles and then work your way down. But yeah, I would recommend doing studies of each. Alright. So now we are going to have this here. I think that the way that I have this situated, it's going to come out to like here. And I get like this swooping design. So yeah, this is what I'm going to go with for this part for right now. I need to make the perspective work. So again, perspective super important for these kinds of things. So I need to make sure that it's going to have decent perspective at the very least. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to make sense here. So let's go to here. Here, alright. And then this is a rounded design. And I can even add here, which is a bit different than what we had before, but that's okay. Alright. we got this going. So now the question is how are we going to make this flexible on this top part? Because it does need to be, like, the shoulders need to be flexible. And the way that I'm going to do it, and the way that I see done quite frequently, is making sure you do segments of, like, the shoulders. And, you know, I might even pull this in just a bit more like this. Alright, so yeah, I'll do like segments here. And I have some references. I'm just gonna pull them up on the side. This will be helpful because I'm actually doing, oh yeah, this is actually a really good reference for this. I'm actually doing armor for the characters that I showed in the last stream as well. Alright, so we'll have like, actually, sorry, I'm like jumping all over the place, I apologize. I am going to bring up the shape language here because this is going to be important for just keeping consistent as we create here. She's going to end up being a like an ice wizard. I'm going to make sure that comes across very well as I create and do specifically the colors. I think the colors for ice are so like ingrained in people's brains that it'll be an easy way to kind of show off what kind of wizard she is. But yeah. And the hook for this character is going to end up being that like demonic looking shape that you're just talking about. Alright, so let me see here. Some yellow somewhere? Oh, I will. Alright, so we will... Is there a specific reason why you want yellow, Coop? Alright. Coop, you're killing me with that, my guy. And it's been since day one. It's crazy. Alright, so yeah, so we have that, and I've done that to add maybe some flexibility in the movement. Since these are three separate pieces, they can move inside of one another as she moves her arms up and down. For a VN. Can you, I'm sorry, what's a, I don't know what a, I'm a boomer. I'm about to be 30 here pretty soon. I don't know what a VN is. Can you? Oh, whoops. I'm actually accidentally drawn on the shape language part. That's annoying. If you ever do this, I do it very frequently. Here's the shortcut. Visual novel. I mean, possibly. It would just have to be something that we would talk about at another time. See ya. Have a good time. Okay. Good, thank you. But anyways, sorry, what I was saying was, you just circle around, like use the selection tool to circle around what you created on the wrong layer, and then after you've done that, really you can just keep the circle, go through, erase underneath. Make sure you go back to the layer that you accidentally did it on. And then you can go up here and then select these two and merge the layers, and now it's all in the same layer again. Okay, sounds good. I appreciate it. Alright, so we have this going now. The kind of cool thing is this kind of looks like a bat a little bit. Like if you, here, let me, kind of looks like a bat head, which is really cool. Accidental. Alright, so now that we've kind of gotten that part figured out, I don't want to do any more details here. I just want to start to move into the next part, which would be this like belt-esque looking thing we got going on here. Here, it's not figured out, but we can do this, which is I'm going to kind of use anatomy knowledge to move this into... Actually, do I want to do that? Or, no, I'm just going to make them separate. Yeah, these can be separate, I don't see why not. So now we will go into this, like, this shape here. And post it in. And to be honest with you, what I don't want is I don't want this to be heart-shaped, because I am seeing that there are a few heart-shaped things. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to change the shape language quite a bit here, and I'm going to make it more rigid. So now, to me, like, maybe it's still, you know, just a rigid-looking heart, but for me, it does make it less problematic, because I don't want this character to look like a love wizard, right? I want it to be an ice wizard. So we will get going on here. We didn't really figure out the midsection here, but I think that this can just be like a bit of a belt, and we'll just leave it there for now, and maybe as we figure things out that can change. But I am just going to one thing I'm noticing, thin that out a little bit. I think that this side is a bit too long, so I'm going to just go through and change that. It's a bit too wide, I mean. Alright, so now let's come back. And again, I'm not figuring out details quite yet, and this is still rough, right? Just rough, just trying to get stuff in. Now I need to go ahead and do the leg armor, which again, it needs to have flexibility, so it's going to be something similar to this. So let's do... So, again, the good part about doing, so let me take this away. The good part about doing shapes and stuff like this that are more simplistic is now I know which direction the armor is going to be facing as well. So this is going down in space. So we're going to be able to see on the inside of this part of the armor. And it wraps around like this, right? And then this one, we're not going to see the inside of the top because this leg is coming towards us. So we will instead have something that's like this. I do need to think about this for a second though. Let's just do, to begin with, a cylinder. So we'll do a cylinder here. Alright, and now I want this cylinder to come up to a point. So we'll do it like this. Alright. And I did this on purpose, by the way. So, oops. I made it so that the pieces get slightly smaller as they go down the character. That's a good, like, design tip. I mean, again, I'm not a professional. At least not yet. So, when I'm saying these things, make sure to look up like different professional resources to back what I'm saying, but this is what I have learned from other professionals. When you're doing designs, having something that's evenly spaced out feels stagnant. So if you do it and you make it so that it has like a rhythm to it that gets either longer or shorter, then it'll have a little bit more movement. Like for instance, up here, I would say this is static looking. So what I can do to change it is make this piece longer, this piece maybe like this long, and then this piece is short. Good question. How is armor flexible? So let me try to find, I'll just go on Google really fast and try to find a resource. Armor function. Let's see. Let's look. This is a good image here. Hey, we got a sub. That's the first time in a while that that's happened. Welcome. I don't know who it was because it didn't show. References. Oh no, I was too late. But welcome. I appreciate you joining. Sorry, give me 1 second. I'm trying to think of a good way to do this. Let me just add a browser maybe. Sorry, 1 second. Window capture. I'll do Google search so that I remember. Okay, here it goes. Alright, so y'all should be able to see that now. So if you look at, no, I want my cursor to show on here. I don't really know how to do that. But anyways, if you look at his shoulder armor, maybe I can do this. I just want to give credit to the creator of this, which is why I'm gonna copy the image and I'll paste it over here. Alright. So let's look at this armor really fast. So I would say that the way that they've created flexibility in this armor is, let's move it one more time so I'm not drawing on this. Actually, no, we'll do this. Keep this up and then I'll just add. This is how I understand armor, and I would have to do more research to make sure that this is correct. But the way that you can like do flexibility in armor is by layering. And also, just really fast, you can kind of see what I meant earlier. So you have this huge piece, and you have this piece, and this piece. What I would say would make this look like a better like piece of armor design-wise is if this piece maybe went to here, the second piece went from like here to here, and then the third piece was shorter. I don't know if that would make it less functional though. Obviously, I'm not a armor creator, so I'm not 100% sure here. But anyways, because there's that layer effect in the armor, it makes it so that it can move. So like, I'm assuming as you move your arm up like this piece here folds into that piece, this piece folds into that piece, this bigger piece down here folds into that piece as well, right? And then as you come back down, they flatten back out to the way that they currently are. That's how you would do flexibility in armor, from my understanding. Now, how that actually works on the inside, I'm not sure. I'd have to like again do some research on that, and that's something as a concept creator that I'll have to do, but I actually find that kind of stuff really, really interesting, so I would have no problem doing that. So yeah, I'm going to get rid of this window that I just created. No. Oh, here it is. Very first one. Perfect. So we can get back to the drawing. Hopefully that was helpful. Oh, what's up, Madwind? How's it going? Welcome. I appreciate you joining. Kevin, I would probably agree. That might not have been the best armor choice. But that is, at least my understanding, that is how the armor would have worked. Is that the layers would have, like, they would have the ability to fold into one another, probably linked together, I would assume, by some form of, like, chainmail. So that, like, when you do move, it's not stuck. They had a lot of bolts in that armor, though, I do agree. Is this the layer? Perfect. Alright, so we'll go here. Oops. Now the real question is how, and maybe I can look up a reference for this as well. I need to look up, like, armor array, how that works. Oh, okay. That makes sense. It's like its own separate part. It's like underneath, maybe, or over the top. That makes a lot of sense. Alright, so again, I'll pull up my Google search here so you can kind of see. You can see, so these plates of armor would be separate to whatever has been kind of created for the thighs and the lower legs. So, and you can see this one is meant to be like highly flexible, and you can tell that because this very next image is the same one, and you can kind of see how it was created, right? So you have one plate that's kind of underneath everything that's closer to the leg, and you have another plate on top, and then this like circular kind of plate to actually go around the knee, and then you have one below and another one below that, so that when you flex, things go underneath one another without causing too big of an issue, and without pinching your skin too. That makes sense. This bottom one is the first one, so there you go. So I can kind of copy that for myself now. So I know that this is going to be on top, and there's going to be probably something that starts around here, then a circle. And I don't need to draw all of that out. I just need to know that it's there. This is something that I would have to draw out for a 3D artist if I'm doing this as a concept. So maybe that's something I'll do at a different time. All right, so now I can separate these three pieces into three pieces. So let's go maybe here. Maybe, yeah, here's probably good. And then around here. And again, I want to get the points right. So we'll go here. And then the one thing that I just learned from doing the last one was that the longer pieces go underneath. So, does that make sense? Let me think here. Yeah, from what we just saw, right? I think the longer pieces would be the ones that are going underneath everything, and the shorter pieces go over top. Alright, so let's erase away some of this. Again, I am getting a little bit too detail oriented right now, which I don't like at this point in the drawing. But I think that figuring this kind of stuff out to the best of my ability is important too. All right, so now we can go ahead and I'm just gonna kind of draw like a circular shape in for the knee part, and then we have kind of the same design going at the bottom of the leg. So it can start, this one, since it's not going to be bound by the top, can start further out again. Then this is going over the top of that. And then do the same here. I probably can pull this in just slightly on the other side, so I'll do that in a second. And again, this one is over the top, and then probably can do two things here. these two up a bit. Alright, and then I'll just erase this away. Oh, sorry. My bad. I had like stream on stream on stream. That was weird. Sorry about that. So yeah, we'll go in and do this, and then one more here. Alright, so we have some of the very basics here. Character rough, so we'll get rid of that. So this is kind of like the basics of what we have for like an armor. So obviously this needs to be more armor-like. So we'll work on that in just a bit. And now I can go ahead and do the hair. And we also need to talk about the functionality of armor when... Sorry, give me 1 second. We have to talk about the functionality of armor in an ice-related area, right? Because you can't just have metal on top of skin. I know that she's magic, but it needs to make a little bit more sense than that. So we're going to have to go ahead and probably put some fur underneath, and I'll make that show as we go, just to give that distance. Another sub, hey. Is it the Schumann? Is that what that says? That's pretty cool. Welcome. I appreciate you joining. Subs have been going kind of wild the past few days. Alright, so let's do the headpiece part. So for this, I am going to go in here and probably do some more... I don't know what the heck this line is. I did want her head to be facing us a little bit. Nah. It makes more sense for it to be like this. She's like casting a spell or something with her right hand, so... I think that's enough. I don't want to... if I start doing this face, like, it'll be a while that we are trying to get this going, so... I want to stay relatively basic here. Just get the general, like, different parts of the face. Let me just see if I can get at least the head to be the proportion that I want. Probably cut off a little bit of the top here. This is a little low. Okay, I think that this will work for now, and we'll go back through. So I was thinking that this here could literally just be this shape for her hair. So I'm gonna start with that, and then we'll see where it goes from there. So do that, and oh, whoops, I need to flip this around actually. Alright, and then we'll get I kind of want this one to be... Cylinders are pretty cool. Cylinders are cool. I like cylinders a lot. They are a very dynamic shape, and what's the other word I'm looking for? What's the word for something that it can be used for multiple... Versatile, there we go. No, I couldn't think of that. But yeah, they're very versatile shape. Hair is difficult, I will say. It's something that I personally know that I need to study a bit more. But it can be simple. Like, hair is like, it's kind of like just doing ribbons, and then attaching it to a head. Like hair somewhere. It's bothering me. There's a really good, Mark Brunet has a really good video on that, that I really enjoy. He makes it look so simple, of course, because he's Mark, but, like for instance, you can kind of see he just has these, like, strands here that he's, like, put onto the head, and even in the back, it's just, like, these shapes, and then, you know, you put some contouring lines that are going towards, for instance, for this one, a bun. Even down here, all these lines. That's good. All these lines are going towards this like bun, and it's literally just this. It's a ribbon shape, but it's triangular now, so it's got something like this going on. And it just go to a certain point and ends up being good. I can do like braids. I feel like I'm pretty good at. Braids are probably my favorite form of hair to do. Here, I can just show you really fast. So you kind of get like, I like to just do this like zigzag, and you can just kind of connect. This is looking really ugly, but get this zigzag shape here, and then you just kind of connect the humps, and then you get something that looks a little bit braid-like. That's me rushing through it, sorry. But I'll do, once I get to the finer details, you'll see me do some more hair. So, yeah, this one is going to be coming up there. How long do I want this to be? Also, do I want the second one to actually be on top? I think I do. Looks like this one. No. So I'm gonna draw this piece like separately. Alright, so I'm going to take that and just plop it in here. Angle. this one's a bit more tricky because I think it's really just gonna end up being kind of this. Yeah, no problem. If you, I don't know if you've joined our Discord yet, but if you join the Discord, I'll send you the video, Matt Wind. All right. Hair is one of those things too, like if you're stiff when you're drawing hair, it's gonna come out looking bad. Alright, so let's see what we got. Alright, so now I am gonna do actually just a little bit of what I envisioned her hair to be like. I envisioned it being very like long. And I'm just gonna do like actually I do want it to be long, but I want it to be kind of rigid. So we could do like these kinds of shapes. And I will do these like and make it look much better later. I just want to get like this like general design in, just so I don't forget it for the next time. All right, so okay. And because it's kind of like this, I can do, it'll be like a part here that maybe I can even have like a couple of those hardcore anime bangs. Yeah, I think that looks actually really good. And then the last but not least, the hands. So I wanted to have these like spiky fingernail hand things. First. So do I want to worry about that right this second though? Because that's going to be a whole ordeal. Maybe. I can just maybe do this just to like make sure I remember. Yeah, I am happy with this. And what's cool is there's this consistent duality happening with this character, which is nice too. What I mean by that is like this is split in half. This is split in half. Obviously there's two legs, but also we get you know, two headpiece parts, two gigantic like ponytail pieces or pigtail pieces, and maybe like the staff itself, which I should probably take some time to design right now. Maybe the staff itself can have two different pieces. And this is something like if I were to design this for a game. Sounds good. I'll be sure right after the stream I'll put the video up that I'm talking about for you. So yeah, maybe yeah, two pieces for the staff. there are two pieces for the upper and lower leg. I do want to actually make this a bit longer, but I guess the problem with doing that is the flexibility here. Be careful with that. Let me think. Should this be under or over? Probably under. So I think I had it better the first time. So this goes over. This goes over, and this is under all of it. Over. Oh, oops. Under all of it. Alright, so I guess I can figure out this hand thing really fast. Let me see. So I am gonna kind of copy the image over here, and it's over on this one a bit. As much as I can at least, and then if it feels like I've gotten stuck, I will find a different reference image or do a 3D model of some sort. So we're gonna get this part of the hand that is kind of over top everything. This part is going to be slightly below. This is also over top of that. And then we're seeing this section of the hand. So now, probably erase with fingers here. Decent base so far. I can go through here. All right, so now I just need to get the fingers in a way that makes sense. I did not. I will do that. Once we're done with this character, we'll just do a Michelle video. Just make sure you hold me to it, Coop. Let me see if I can find this image again, because this is not the completed image. You can definitely find it on this Instagram. And again, I'm just trying to find this so that I have a good reference for his hand. Let's see here. Here it is. Alright, so yeah, this is perfect. So we have the pinky coming down like this. Ring finger here. Middle finger here. Maybe slightly higher though. Finger about here. And then index finger around here. Can make the pinky a bit smaller. And also give it just slightly more distance here. I do think that both of these need to come out just slightly. And maybe the middle finger here. Alright, so I'm pretty okay with that, and now I can make sure to add armor here. How do I want to do this? So it's going to have this, and then probably something like that. So we'll just do the contour here. Sorry, let me go back to the line. I'm not sure if y'all are asking questions or not. It won't take years. We'll get it done soon. We'll get it done soon. Also, oh man, I did not realize we have 15 likes. That's crazy. Thank you. Thank you for the likes. Appreciate it. So yeah, we'll just take the armor to do the contour of what the fingers are doing here. And then at the end, we'll get this like little claw look thing. And the same is going to be true down here. And now we can get rid of this. And we want to add I don't really know what the inside part would look like. Inside part, probably. Let me look that up really fast. I do think that I'll probably start to wrap up here. Yeah, the insides of a gauntlet are typically just a shell almost. So we shall do that. So these will just be like straps, and then it'll be like a black glove in here. it. Alright. And this can just beat up into like a leather strap around the wrist. I'll have to figure this piece out. Maybe it's just like, maybe it's just something that's attached to the edges of her fingers, or maybe I get rid of it. I'm not sure yet. Maybe she just has like a glove on. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure about that yet. And I think the last thing to really figure out is, like I said, the fur. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add probably some baggy clothing underneath. So it's baggy stuff is going to have thick folds, and this is something that I will get more of a reference for a little later, but I do want to just get something really rough in here for now, just to remind myself for later. And then here, we can maybe even just have neck part, and then eat into her under part here. Maybe that's what this is instead. It's just like a piece of fur here. Alright. Well, we have done quite a bit for today. So I am gonna wrap up. I'm pretty happy with this so far. I'm excited to actually do some details now. Now that we've kind of figured out the majority of this, I would say one thing that probably needs to happen here is there needs to be like a strap. So that's something I can also add. That goes around towards the back. But yeah, this is looking pretty decent. We'll go into like the inner details and things of that nature a little later. But for right now, I think that we've got something cool to work with. This is I like this character design so far. One thing I keep saying I'm gonna jump off and then I don't. Very typical of me. One thing I am gonna do though is I am going to make this a bit longer, just to match like what I had over here. But yeah, I think we'll finish up there. We have a pretty cool character design coming through so far. And we'll finish up some of the rougher designs. Just 5 more minutes. For what? I wasn't sure if we were getting close to like the 2-hour mark. Do you want me to do? I'll do 5 more minutes. I'm trying to think. I'm just like really hungry at this point. I guess I could maybe start to work a little bit more on the staff. She's got it back like this. Um, so yeah, let me just, I guess I can spend a little bit of time just figuring out which one's on top of which here. Well, it has to be the top is the one that's going in due to how the design is like going here. So yeah, now I can this, and again I'll have to figure out like just the intricacies of like, oh, another sub, welcome. I can't read that, I'm sorry, it's a little too far away for me to be able to read, but welcome. Yeah, so these are going inside. This is gonna go inside as well. Same thing here. All right. Now it would be time for me to, like, I'll need some time to go through and just clean up a bit. And like figure out more of the details of this, just so that it works well, right? But and maybe like the design of like having baggy clothes. I don't know. It's definitely, I think it's been 3. I think I've gotten 3. Maybe I don't like so much the baggy clothes idea. And maybe it's just like underneath there's, you know, less baggy, more form-fitting. But there is still some fur. Maybe it's just like on the bottom of the actual armor, and still I like the idea of it being around the neck and the wrists. Alright, let's see here. Yeah, I'm liking the way that this is coming out. Cool. All right, so now I am going to wrap up. It was great hanging out with all of you. I think the next stream will be able to fine tune some of the rough parts of the design. I want to make sure that the armor itself looks good. But is she going to be one of the characters in this series? I mean, the way that this is coming out and has been so far, I probably will make her a character in the series, and at least a portfolio character, just because I do think that she has a pretty, I don't know, I think she has a pretty good, like, character design. Like, I think it's pretty strong. It works out well overall, so yeah, why not? What her role will be, I'm not sure yet, but we'll get to it. But yeah, I appreciate all of y'all for hanging out. It's been great. Madwin, welcome. It's great having you on the Discord as well. Thank you for all the subs on the stream. That was wild. I'm not sure if it's from people actually being on the stream or if it's just like other people who are viewing other videos and stuff, but regardless, I really appreciate it. And yeah, let's come back to this maybe sometime next week, maybe next weekend. Yeah, we'll finish her up. But I hope that y'all have a great rest of your weekend, and I will catch you on the next gesture drawing stream. I'll probably do one midweek, and then again, like I said, on the weekend. I'm gonna start to work towards doing gestures like that are more just anatomically correct. Minor villain who dies instantly. I almost want to make her a good character, just because like she looks so villainous. It would be so great just to like have her be like a protagonist actually. But anyways, I'll catch y'all on the next one. Love you all, and again, thank you so much for the support. I will see you next time if my mouse will work. There it goes. Bye.